Man, I feel like it's been a while since I've seen the inside of this room. And, good news is, it doesn't appear to have changed a whole bunch. Anyway, Suzua's not pleased. Anyway, hey there guys, my name is Nix and welcome back to Steins Gate 0. Last time, we were, well, after having a quick chat with, Christina. Don't know why I say it like that. She's not real, but she is real. AI's weird. We saw Maho and her last interaction with Kurusu when she was alive, and then we had a quick glimpse into Mayori's life with her friends through the eyes of, Fubuki. I know that's not her real name. I can't remember her real name. Someone in the comments will probably tell me, but, like, I'm just gonna keep calling her Fubuki because, well, Mayori does, so, yeah. Anyway, at the very tail end, we, transitioned over to Amame. So, yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Anyway. Amane Suzuo was about to run out of patience. The cause was the young man in the room with her father. Hashida Itaru, aka Daru. His massively obese body was leaning forward over a computer monitor, and he had a dopey grin on his face. Sounds normal, I don't know what your issue is, Suzuo. He'd finally gotten up around 11 AM, gulped down 3 cups of instant ramen, and now was surfing the internet. Yeah, Daru seems fine. What? Wait, normies must die, Pete and Parthenon are husband and wife? Nobody told me about this! And wait, his handle is normies must die, but he's a normal! He's got a wife! That's not fair! Thought he was on the side of us loners. This means war. It's trolling time! Whoa, TIL and Adchan and Twitter? Okay, that's what they're calling it these days. TIL, that Adchan and Twitter are already pissed off. I missed the boat. I need to go back and look at the timeline again. Dad! Yes? As I said, I'm not sure if I'm okay with Daru's redesign. I don't know what it is. Part of it just makes me feel unnerved. Everyone else's has been alright so far. That's what Suzuo called her father. It's who he was, after all, so there was nothing else to call him. Suzuo was a time traveler from the year 2036, and 7 years from now he will become her father. Stop screwing around! All you ever do is lie around and eat, or look at the internet, or play video games. Hey, don't fucking judge me, Suzuo. I told you that nothing but instant noodles and snacks will make you sick. That's still all you ever eat. In fact, his PC desk was covered with snacks. She cleaned it regularly, but it never seemed to make a difference. And I keep telling you to exercise, but you never do. Suzuo realized she was complaining more than usual, but she had to say it anyway. At this rate, in the future. And then she realized that Itaru wasn't even listening to her. His eyes were fixed on the computer monitor. He moved his mouse out of sight, but she could still hear him clicking it. Listen to me! Suzuo approached her father from behind and put the hairspray can she'd been hiding up to his neck. Itaru seemed to think it was a gun. He stuck his hands up. Threats like this worked. They worked because she told him that she'd survived the Third World War and the wars and chaos of 2036, and that she was ready to draw a gun and pull the trigger whenever she needed to. Suzuo, if you don't stop, Daddy's gonna get mad. I don't like that sentence one fucking bit. Ew. I'm getting mad at you right now. Right. Sorry. But you know about my secret job, right? I'm pretty busy with that. When you're as good a hacker as I am, there's always a ton of offers. I don't have time to eat real food, right? And there's the time difference with overseas clients. So sometimes I'm like up all night.
In the future, you always used to say that all the time, and then Mom would always get mad at you. Even if, for the sake of the argument, we can't do anything about your sleep schedule, I can't let you keep eating all this unhealthy food. You'll stop immediately. Got it?
But work's hard, so's the time machine research. I need to relax.
You just use that as an excuse to slack off. You're being a spoiled brat, Dad.
She's slowly slipping into Faris, and I don't like that. Although Faris is more...
Yeah!
If that makes any more sense. Suzuha was always amazed that her dad managed to survive the future's wars. But since the time machine research would affect the future, and eventually Suzuha's very presence here, she couldn't tell him to stop. Even after Okabe Rintaro stopped coming to the Future Gadget Lab, Itaru had been kept working hard on the time machine all by himself. Suzuha never said a word about it. If she did, it might create a time paradox.
Just remember, you can't examine the time machine that came from the future to build your own.
She decided to warn him again. I know that! But sometimes I lose confidence. Can I really make a time machine?
Of course you can. Hang in there.
Okay. Suzuha took the hairspray can off his neck. Hey! I was sure that was a gun and it wasn't! How could you trick your own dad?
I'll use the real one next time, okay?
Please don't. Okay, maybe it was just the first picture that put me off Daru. The other ones don't look too bad. Suzuha put the can of hairspray back on the shelf. It was something Okabe Rintaro had left here when he'd lived in the lab. If it was still here since the owner never came back for it. You know, in manga and video games, it's always really cute when a girl scolds her dad. Suzuha, can you try and say, "Oh, jeez, don't do that, Papa," in a really sweet voice if you can? That's a no. Never mind. Her dad shrank from Suzuha's glare. Suzuha sighed loudly and dropped herself on the sofa. She leaned back against the headrest and stared at the ceiling, then closed her eyes. What's wrong?
It's nothing.
You can't hide it from me. When you say it's nothing, that means you want to listen to me. You want to listen to me, right? I want you to listen to me even.
Huh?
Come on, tell me. It's just that expression that really weirds me out about Daru. The others are fine. I don't know what that one is, though. Daru sounded very serious. Suzuha's eyes went wide for a moment, but then she realized.
That line! That was in the girl game you were playing earlier, wasn't it? That's the phrase that triggers the flag, right?
She'd been living here for 3 months. She was starting to learn a little about Akihabara's culture, circa 2010.
Dad, you better not be thinking about trying to make him take my route, okay?
I'm not! I wouldn't do that to my own daughter!
Really? I always wondered about you in the future.
Huh?
Even after I hit puberty, you always kept asking me to take baths with you.
Whoa, Daru's a bit fucking weird, isn't he? What? That's scary.
I was in the military, and you were always working on the time machine. So we obviously always couldn't be together. But you always got huggy around me. It was honestly kind of obnoxious.
Her dad honestly looked depressed, and she realized that she'd gone too far.
You always said to me, you know, that this is the worst world line possible. But your birth was the best thing that could have happened. I don't want to disappoint the future you, Dad. So I need to convince Uncle Okarin, no matter what.
It's okay. I'll never be disappointed.
Really?
Yeah.
But Uncle, he just won't listen to me. He's not going back to the past like this. He won't rescue Makase Kurisu. And he won't reach Steins Gate.
Steins Gate. That was the name of the mysterious world line her dad had told her about in 2036, where World War III might not occur. Leading Okabe Rintaro to that world line was her mission. But right now, it wasn't going well. Zura had come to 2010, and just like that mission had called for, she'd succeeded in sending Okabe Rintaro to July 28th. But then he'd failed. And he wasn't going to try again. Every time they met, she'd try to convince him, but who knew if her words were having any effect?
In the end, this world line will converge into the Third World War, and many people will be killed. I came here to change that, but maybe fate says that I can't.
Suzuha had something else she had to do here in Akihabara in December 2010, besides convincing Okabe Rintaro, and it meant she was running around every day. The exhaustion was starting to take its toll on her. During the war, she'd been able to keep herself sharp at all times, and this level of exhaustion wouldn't have meant anything. The relaxed atmosphere of 2010 was actually making her realize how tired she was. She was feeling very sleepy right now, actually. She was surprised at how willing she was to fall asleep in such an undefended position, but she didn't think she could beat the temptation. And then suddenly, she felt something extremely cold on the back of her neck. Oh, wow, that noise is just adorable. She snapped awake in an instant. Her movements after that were lightning quick. She jumped up and slid around the massive body in front of her, which obviously belonged to Itaru, then grabbed the arm and twisted it as she dropped him to the floor. She went to draw the gun at her hip, and her hand swiped through the empty air. And then she came back to reality. Her gun was hidden. She wasn't carrying it. This wasn't 2036. Ow, ouchies! 2 cans of Dr. P clattered to the floor. That must have been what he put on her neck.
What are you doing, Dad?
Getting you back!
I was half asleep, so I almost killed you!
What?
I told you, that's how I've been trained! I could have turned out real bad for you!
Fine, just let go! It really hurts!
Oh, sheesh.
Suzuha let her father go. Itaru rubbed his arm and stood up, then grabbed the cans of Dr. P off the floor. He offered one to Suzuha. Anyway, you're giving up too soon. Keep at it a little longer. I think Okarin's just tired and sleeping. Blossom called Dr. P on his neck just like I did, and he'll wake up. I mean, it's Okarin we're talking about.
Yeah.
She realized her dad was trying to cheer her up and nodded. Then she heard footsteps coming up the stairs and some slightly off-key humming. Their eyes met. Just the sound was enough to tell them who it was. Hi, Suzuha!
Okie dokie.
Suzuha moved fast. Maybe even faster than when she knocked her father to the ground. She quickly and silently jumped behind the curtain that separated the lab's development room from the rest of it. Just as she hid beneath the desk, there was a knock at the door. I feel like I recognize that voice. Hello? Suzuha knew that voice, of course. It was her mom. She could tell from the noises he was making that her dad was panicking. There was another knock. Called it!
Mayuri?
Hey.
Right, I'm coming! Itaru went to open the door. Suzuha took a deep breath and concentrated her mind. She remembered the time she'd spent 3 days and 3 nights on a battlefield with no food and nothing to drink, constantly aiming her rifle at a target. She erased any trace of her presence that could give her away. Her breathing started to become shallow. Dad, don't screw this up, okay? Maneshi! You're meeting Mayushi today? Itaru came back to the room with a girl.
Yeah, we were supposed to practice cooking together.
Well, this is going to be interesting if I have to do both. I'm just going to have to lean harder into the accent for Amane. She could hear plastic bags rustling. She must have brought the ingredients. Mayushi's not here yet.
I see. Maybe I'm a little too early.
Yuki Amane. Just the name Amane suggested she was Suzuha's mother in the future. In other words, the two of them in the other room were supposed to get married. Well, if you two were supposed to meet, I'm sure she'll get here eventually, right?
Can I wait here?
Of course. You're going to be cooking here, right?
Yeah. I was hoping you'll do some taste testing for us, Hashida.
I don't know if I want to eat Mayushi's cooking.
Don't worry, Mayu's gotten a lot better recently.
Huh. Itaru was clearly nervous. As far as Suzuha knew, the only girl he acted that way around was Yuki Amane. Suzuha and Mayuri were practically family, and he got along fine with big sister Faris Nyan Nyan, who worked at the maid cafe next door. Wait, that's only next door? Huh. Shit. So it wasn't that he didn't know how to act around girls. But for some reason, he always acted different when she was around. She told him that Yuki would be his wife someday. It was too late to do anything about it now, but maybe that was a mistake, she thought.
Is your sister not here today?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
I see.
Hashida Itaru's sister was none other than Suzuha herself. Around the same time Suzuha had started spending all her time in the lab, Yuki became friends with Mayuri and Itaru, and began visiting more frequently. Which meant that avoiding her was almost impossible. And so she was forced to tell Yuki she was Itaru's little sister. But still, She wanted to keep contact to a minimum in order to keep Yuki from finding out somehow. That's why she was hiding.
Oh, right. What do you think of this outfit? I just brought it.
Yuki showed no signs of noticing Suzuha. She was twirling around in the center of the room as if she was at a fashion show. Yuki was a cosplayer and wanted as many people as possible to see her dressed up. Mayuri had told Suzuha that once before. In fact, Yuki and Mayuri spent a lot of time complimenting each other's outfits. Yep, it's great. Real great.
Really?
It's like, whoa, an angel for the win!
Thank you. You should dress up too, Hashida. Just lose a tiny bit of weight and I think you look wonderful. I'm serious, you know?
Oh. Hashida, Itaru, and Yuki and Mane. As she listened to their awkward conversation, Suzuha remembered the last time she said goodbye to her dad. Oh god, fucking World War lines. 2036.
Dad, the peacekeeping squads have reached Mansai Bashi.
Which means it's only a matter of time until they find this place. I guess the false information I leaked didn't do us any good.
Let's hurry.
Yeah, I'm opening it up.
I had no idea there was a door here. Nobody will ever find this, huh?
Come on inside.
What is this place?
The room was almost totally empty, and covered from top to bottom in soundproofing materials. Hold the phone! Is that a baby Kurisu? Is that a fucking baby Kurisu? That's adorable. Not only were there no windows, there wasn't even a door to the hallway. The building they were in was once a symbol of old Akihabara, before it was almost entirely destroyed by an air raid during the last days of the Third World War. Only a few people knew about the secret room inside. The biggest reason was its secret. The silhouette of what looked like a satellite sitting in the corner.
Oh! This is the time machine, isn't it? This is the time machine? Kagari, it's dangerous, so don't get too close.
Suzuha spoke to the little girl clutching Mayuri's hand. Most of the children in this era had skin inflammation somewhere on their body from all the radioactive rain, but she didn't. Her name was Kagari Shina. Her registration form said she was 10 years old, but no one knew if that was true. She was an orphan who had lost her parents in the Tokyo air raids when she was a baby, and nobody ever knew her birthday. The name Kagari had been given to her by Mayuri, who was working at the child welfare center that had taken her in. She took it from the word kakaribi, meaning bonfire, in hope that she could be a light even in these dark days. It had been 4 years since Mayuri had adopted her, and her name on the registration form had become Kagari Shina.
It's pretty, Mommy. Yeah, it is.
Suzuha motioned for the Shinas to step back and put her right hand and right eye up to the time machine's sensor. The biometrics check cleared and the hatches slid open. She went inside and fastened herself into the seat. We've never done a manned jump at this length before, but the technology's just fine. Just do it like the test jumps.
Okie dokie.
Suzuha began to flip switches, working her way through the startup procedure. She practiced it hundreds of times in preparation for this day. The faint rumble from the machine began to get louder. According to the data, the spot we're in now is the roof of the old radio building. There's a gap about a meter. So when you land there, it's going to be an impact.
Roger.
The time machine could move through time, but not space. To arrive at the radio building more than 60 years in the past, she'd need to launch from right here. Even if something happens, stay calm. Remember your training.
I'll be fine. I believe in your machine, Dad.
Her words must have meant a lot to him, because he stuck out his lips toward her. She squished them back with her hand.
That's creepy.
That makes me sad. Do you not like your daddy, Suzuha?
When you do it, it seems like you mean something else.
Come on, I wouldn't think of my own daughter that way.
So who was it who was saying you started to remind me of your mother, Pants?
Her mother wasn't here. She'd become a victim of the war, brutally killed by the peacekeeping squads. Don't take my jokes seriously, please.
What? It was a joke?
Suzuha's voice sounded kinda disappointed. She set the destination for August 13th, 1975. Her first mission was there.
That does it. Okay, Dad. Mayor.
She was about to say her goodbyes, but then... God, the air raids are happening. That was from the roof. They're coming in!
Damn it, they're faster than I thought!
Suzuha drew a gun from her holster. She was about to get out of the time machine, but her dad stopped her. No, just go!
Yo!
We'll be fine. Just go, Suzuha!
No, I can't!
Mayushi! Get Kagari out, getting in there! There's room for another person in here. Mayuri and Suzuha's father picked up the stunned Kagari and stuffed her into the time machine.
Suzu! Take care of Kagari! Okay.
If Suzuha's mission succeeded, the world line would be rebuilt, and it was likely that the present Kagari would cease to exist. It might be pointless to send her. But even so, a mother wants her child to live. That's how Suzuha's mom was too.
Mommy?
Kagari finally seemed to understand what was going on. She called out to her mom.
I don't wanna go. It's okay, Kagari. Suzu's with you, okay? No! I wanna go with you! If you come back to the past and see the old me, I'll be a lot younger than I am now. I bet you'll be surprised.
Right, okay. Are we taking bets as to who Kagari is in the future? I think we are. Mayuri handed Kagari a tiny keychain. It looked old. It may have been brightly coloured green once, but now it was completely faded.
This is Mommy's Hoopa keychain. I'm giving it to you. Take care of it, okay?
Take note of the thing. Also, like, she looks too much like a baby Kurisu. I can't unsee that. This is gonna cause issues for me down the line, isn't it? Once it was pressed firmly into Kagari's hand, she stepped back. Mayuri was smiling, but weeping at the same time.
Be quiet!
Kagari fell silent immediately. Even Suzuha had never heard Mayuri use that tone of voice. That's how harshly she scolded her daughter.
Mama!
Kagari was quietly weeping, unmoved. I'm closing the hatch! This time the hatch really did begin to close. The inside of the time machine, and the outside of it. The two worlds were about to be completely cut off from one another. Whether Suzuha's mission was successful or not, she would probably never see them again.
Suzu, make sure you take care of Kagari. And tell Ocarine that Steins Gate really exists.
Tell him don't give up, no matter what, you moron!
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie.
And then the door was sealed shut, and Mayuri and Itaru's voices disappeared, along with the chaos outside.
父さん、
Dad,
大好き。
I love you.
She whispered toward the door, now sealed shut.
行くよ、かがり。
Let's go, Kagari.
かっこいい。
To the past.
She booted up the time machine.
Ashida-san, 掃除機はどこ？
Ashida, where's the vacuum?
Suzuha snapped back to reality. Yuki was getting closer to the development room she was hiding in. It's right behind that curtain. Oh, crap!
この奥？
Behind the curtain?
I'll get it! Itaru motioned for her to stop and then quickly slid into the room. As he reached down to pick the vacuum off the floor, his gaze locked with Suzuha's as she hid under the desk.
バレないようにしてよ。
Make sure she doesn't find out, Dad.
Okie dokie.
ありましたか？掃除
Did
機。
you find the vacuum?
Oh! Yeah! Evidently, Yuki was trying to be nice by cleaning up. The place was pretty messy right now. Knowing Yuki's personality, Suzuha could imagine she'd want to clean it. Itaru growled what looked like a vacuum cleaner off the floor and left the development room.
何ですか？それ。
What is that thing?
Future gadget number 5! Wait a minute, what was that? Once again, I'd made a worthless object or something. If you take it apart, you can use it as a normal vacuum.
お掃除するための掃除
The
機なのに。
vacuum's supposed to
分解
clean.
したら
If you take it apart, won't that just make it more of a mess?
Uh,
橋田さんって
You're so smart, Ashida, but sometimes you can be so silly.
you think so?
でもそういう人
You
の
know,
方が
I like
私
people like that.
好きだな。
What did you say? Itaru started to panic again and Suzuha sighed.
ただ生活については
I think
見
you
直
really
した
do
方
need to
がいいと
reconsider the
思
way
うん
you
です
live.
お部屋の掃除は
You
で
should
き
clean
れ
every
ば
day
毎
if you
日した方
can.
がいい
This
で
place
すよ。
gets real dusty.
ここそれだけじゃありません。
That's not all.
食事のこともそうで
There's
す。
also what you eat.
今日もカップ麺だ
You
った
had
ん
in
でしょ
some ramen again today, didn't you?
How did you know?
お台所に食
There's
べ
a
残した
half-eaten
ま
cup
ま
of
放置さ
ramen
れ
in
て
the
ます。
kitchen.
I see.
それにお菓子も
And
こ
look
ん
at
な
all
に
your
たくさん。
snacks.
食べ過ぎだって
I
いつ
tell
も
you
言
all
っ
the
てるの
time that you
に。
eat way too much.
I do try to watch it, you know.
一応じゃダメです。
Trying isn't good
あん
enough.
まりカップ麺やお
If you
菓子
keep
ばかり
eating
食べ
nothing
て
but
る
cup
と
noodles
病
and
気になっ
snacks,
ちゃ
you're
うん
gonna
で
get
すよ。
sick, okay?
あと
Also,
少し
you
は
need to
運動す
exercise
る
a
こ
little.
と。
Hold on, I feel like we've been here before. Daru is, not impressed. Yuki Amane was saying the exact same thing that Suzuha had just said. Perhaps they really were mother and child. Suzuha just pretended to feel a little homesick. Suzuha was just beginning to feel a little homesick when she sensed another visitor approaching. Hell yeah, she's back. The door of the lab opened and she heard, and a greeting she'd heard many times before resounded throughout the room.
Sorry, Yuki. I'm a little late.
It was Mayuri coming to see Yuki. But there was another presence there too.
まゆりちゃん、こんにちは。
Hi there, Mayuri.
岡部さんも一緒だったんですね。
I see Okabe's with you.
Oh, Okarin! It's been forever, man! Oh. Yeah. It has. When she heard his voice, Suzuha ground her teeth a little. Oh, and here we are, back with Okarin. Oh. Hi, Amadeus. Interesting. What did you say?
Didn't you hear me? I said it was interesting.
You're not going to tell me what... You're not going to tell me you want to go, are you?
I'd love to.
I shouldn't have told you. I was standing in the middle of Ikebukuro with a smartphone in one hand, staring up at the sky. I've been trying to talk to the Amadeus Kurisu as much as possible lately. Sometimes I would contact her, and sometimes Kurisu would contact me. It didn't feel any different than having a friend who lived in the real world. Talking on a smartphone in a crowded place like this was a little embarrassing, but I told myself that compared to the things I used to do, it was nothing. I'd chosen harmless topics for our discussion, but it still reminded me so much of talking to the old Kurisu that sometimes I forgot myself. I'd done that just now and I actually told her about the lab. She had seized on it.
So this is the lab you were talking about. Did the original me ever go there?
Yeah. No.
Well, that tells me nothing. Which is it?
Never. Kurisu had been a part of the lab on the Alpha World line. In this world line, she died before ever becoming a lab member. Of course, she'd never known where it was. You seem to have the wrong idea, so let me straighten you out. We call it a lab, but it's not. It's just a group of people messing around. And Suzuha was living there now, and Daru spent a lot of time there. If they found out about Kurisu, things could get complicated.
I'd prefer it if you'd finish your sentences.
It's nothing.
Either way, I want to see more of the outside world. But all the times I've talked to Maho and the professor, it's been inside the lab.
That's why I'm out here early on a Sunday morning, taking you around Ikebukuro. 10 AM. Even at this hour, the area in front of Ikebukuro Station was crowded. It was going to get even more crowded as it got closer to noon. I was willing to take you to Maiden's Road if I had to.
What's that?
There's a whole world you know nothing about.
Wait, I just looked it up.
Are you really interested?
Of course not! Anyway, take me to this lab of yours today. Now that you've told me about it, you need to take responsibility. Got it?
And then she hung up. It was like I was her own personal taxi service. Kurisu couldn't move around on her own, so there was no getting around that, but... she's so selfish. She didn't seem to think very highly of me. Nothing new there. At this rate, she might start treating me worse than a servant. The real Kurisu was one thing. No, maybe it wasn't. But being treated that way by the artificial Kurisu was incredibly humiliating. Would it be humiliation for all of humanity? Maybe I should do something about this. As I mumbled to myself. Huh? Ocarine? Mayuri called out to me. She was carrying a lot of bags. It was probably materials for one of her costumes.
Hey, you were talking to someone just now.
That was a friend from my class at college.
I see. So you're gonna meet them today too?
No. I don't have any plans for today. You going to work, Mayuri?
Nope. I'm meeting Yuki at the lab.
The lab? Was this good timing or bad timing?
I know. Why don't you come with me? It's been so long and you got to eat Yuki's home cooking. And Yushi's gonna try hard to make something too. How about it?
In the end, I went with her. You look really happy.
Yep, I am happy.
Mayuri had been smiling the whole time. But I was the opposite. The minute I got here, I was so nervous, I felt like I was about to throw up. I didn't really want to see Suzuha.
Huh?
You okay, Okabe? Yeah. Well, it's good to see some people don't change. The door to the Brawn Tube workshop on the first floor opened, and out came the building's owner, Yugo Tenyoji.
Mr. Tenyoji!
Oh.
Hey there.
Wow! Aren't you cool in just that t-shirt?
I'm pretty tough. Yes, you are, motherfucker. When I'd been living in the lab, I'd given him the nickname Mr. Brawn. It's been a long time since I'd seen him. Gabe! From the looks of it, you're actually making something of yourself at college. Thanks. Come to think of it, how are we handling the rent? I asked Mayuri instead of him. I used to give it directly to Tenyoji, but... Ashida deposits the money when it's due. Don't worry. I see.
Oh?
Yeah. This man. Was he around her on this world line too? There's no way I could ask him. Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît. Oh god, I forgot I'd given you my... Nope.
So, how did things go with Kurisu after that?
No problems. Can we do something about her mouth? I want to talk to Maho, too. Do I really tell Maho I want to talk to her robot? Nah, fuck it. I'm gonna be that snarky asshole that I've always been. Can we do something about her mouth?
Kurisu, she can be really nasty.
She's what we call a tsundere.
A tsundere? I don't know what that is, but are you sure you didn't tick her off? Kurisu does not suffer fools gladly.
Oh, you're gonna need some educating, aren't you, Maho? I couldn't help but be wary of him. That's why I started to put some distance between us. If nothing else, I'd avoided trying to interact with him.
じゃあね。
Ah, now, and don't cause too much trouble. Tenyoji saw that I'd gone silent and went back inside. Mayuri looked over me with a worried expression.
大丈夫？
You
やっ
okay?
ぱり帰る？
Sure you don't want to go home?
行こう。
Let's go. Tenyoji didn't matter. What mattered was... Why was I here? Did I feel like something needed to change? Or did I really want to show Kurisu the lab? I went up the stairs, still unsure of the answer. Mayuri went in first.
ごめんね、ゆきさん。
Sorry, Yuki.
ちょっと
I'm
遅
a
れちゃ
little
っ
late.
た。なゆりちゃん。
Hey there, Mayuri.
I peeked inside the room. Daru and Yuki were there. Their eyes went wide when they saw me.
岡部さんも一緒だったん
I
です
see
ね。
Okabe's with you.
おかりん。
Okarin!
ちゃん。
It's been forever, man!
わあ、
Oh,
久しぶり。
it has. I quickly scanned the room. There was no sign of Suzuha. Part of me was a little relieved.
入っても。
Can I come in?
自分のラボで遠慮
It's your own lab, dude. Don't ask that.
それもそうか。
That's true, I guess.
さすがにこの状況で
I don't think I
ク
can
リス
call
を呼び出
Kurisu
すこ
right
とは
now.
できなさそうだな。
Can I? I was like, can I anyway? What happens? Oh, I don't have her number. Well, I guess if I want to call Kurisu, I just press the Amadeus button. But oh well. I follow Mayuri to the lab and try to relax my legs by sitting on the couch, but I don't feel relaxed at all. It felt like my skin was crawling. I glanced over at Yuki.
ゆきさん。その
The
お洋
outfit's
服
so
かわ
cute,
いい。
Yuki.
なゆりちゃんにそう言って
I
ほ
would
しくて
because I wanted
着て
to
き
hear
た
you
の
say
よ。
that.
It's the same one you wore the other day, right?
いいなぁ。
That's so
マユ
nice.
シも着てみ
But
た
she
い
wants
の
to wear it too.
Yurification?
後でお洋服取り替え
Want to
て
switch
みる
outfits later?
サイズ合うかな
Would I be the right size?
I heard about Yuki's future from Suzuha too. Still, I couldn't believe someone this pretty was going to marry Daru. Kurisu, must you do this now? Okay, fine. Nothing bad can come of this, I'm sure.
なんだ。
What the?
そろそろラボに着いた頃かと思
I
って
figured you would have reached the lab by now.
I ran into the development room in the back, clutching my smartphone.
お前結構暇なんだ
You've got a
な。
lot of free time, don't you?
どうして声を潜める
Why are you lowering your voice?
もしかして
Do
私
you
の
not
こ
want
と
your
を
friends to know
お
about me?
友達には知られたくないとか
当たり前だろ
Of。course not. I hadn't even checked with Maho and Dr. Leskinen to see if it was okay to tell other people about Amadeus.
まあいいわ
Well, that's fine. I can figure out what's going on.
Kurisu lowered her voice as well.
少しでいいから部屋の中を見
Just
せ
give me
て
a little look around the room.
カメラを掲げてく
All
れ
you
る
have
だ
to
け
do
で
is hold up the camera.
まったく。
Sheesh. I sighed and held the smartphone up to my chest. I spun around once, like I was taking a video with my camera.
汚すぎ
Filthy.
最初の感想が
That's your
それ
first
か
impression?
ごめん言い直す
Sorry, I'll try that again. It's full of junk.
That wasn't much better. Well, it was true.
研究室という
I
の
know
は
labs are never clean, but this is especially bad.
真帆先輩の下宿先
It's about as bad as Maho's hotel room.
そういう個人のプライバシー
Is
を
it
暴
okay
露して
for
もいい
to
の
share her private information like that?
あんたからも先輩に言
You
ってお
should
いて
tell her to clean her room
部
too.
屋はちゃんと片付けた方がいいって
そんなこと言ったら
She'd bite my head off if I
疲れ
did
そうだ
that.
But still.
Kurisu paused and smiled. I kind of always wanted to have a shared room like this. It must be pretty nice if all these people are here. Kurisu. Yeah, Kurisu. In the Alpha World line, you said the same thing. You really...
おじさん、誰と
Uncle?
話してるの？
Who are you talking to?
Ah! I suddenly heard a girl's voice from under the desk and was so surprised I screamed. Who's there?
黙って。
Shh! Be quiet!
Is that you, Suzuha? Was she hiding? But why? Daru, Mayuri, and Yuki heard me scream and ran over to see what the problem was.
おかり。
Okay, what's wrong?
あれ？そこにいるの。
Is that
鈴鹿さん？あっちゃ。
Uh-oh.
Suzuha looked upset. It was only then I realized who she was hiding from.
次のニュースです。
And now for our next news story. Yasukusu Komazawa. Yeah, Komazawa. Member of the Diet's House of Representative held a press conference today at 10 a.m. to announce his registration after accepting illegal donations from corporations. Is this plot relevant? I feel like this might be plot relevant down the line. Someone had left the TV on and it was playing the afternoon news. Suzuha knew that no one was watching it, but she used the remote to turn the volume up anyway. She wanted to keep the girls in the shower room from hearing us. I could hear Mayuri and Yuki laughing from the shower. Urification? Things had gotten really awkward when Yuki had found Suzuha, but Mayuri quickly came up with a plan. At first her plan was for the three of them, including Suzuha, to shower naked together. And wait a fucking minute! Why? I don't understand, girls. I've come to that conclusion. I don't understand how women work. Let me start again. At first, her plan was for the three of them, including Suzuha, to shower naked together, and hopefully get Yuki and Suzuha more comfortable around each other. I mean, it would. Would it work? I don't fucking know. But Suzuha had said that the shower room was too small for 3 people and refused.
参ったな。
Well, this is a problem.
Suzuha was staring up at the ceiling.
鈴葉のせいじゃないよ。
It's not your fault, Suzuha. It's Okarin's. It's your fault for not telling me about her earlier.
教えるタイミングなんて
There
なかった
wasn't
じゃん。
time.
つうかオカリンさ。
And anyway, you were mumbling into your smartphone back there.
喋ってたけど
What were you doing?
何してたん？
I was... well...
誰かと話してたよ
You were
ね。
talking to somebody, weren't you?
I got this new app and I was trying it out.
おう
Oh, a girl game one?
オカリンも
So you've gotten into those, huh?
そういうことなのか。そういうことなら
I can give you my list of recommended apps later then.
教えるよ。
Good old Daru, never change. Thanks. I guess I managed to fool them about Amadeus.
何にせよ。
In any event, it was my screw up. Sorry for scaring you.
さっきは驚かせてく
Where
れ
did you get that dope leather jacket from, Suzuha? Why do you need to hide from her anyway? You've already told her you're Daru's sister. Hiding makes you just look more suspicious. Suzuha had tried to avoid Yuki to begin with. Just meeting her father was enough to potentially cause a time paradox, she said. That chance went up even more if she met her mother. But Yuki had found her before long, and Suzuha had been forced to say she was Daru's little sister. Yuki believed it, so why make things any more complicated?
そうなんだけど。
Sure, but
母さんが
Mom
思っ
must
た
be
以上
friends
に
with me more than I thought she
私と
would.
仲良くなりたがるんだ。
If I talk to her too much, I might
あ
slip
んまり
up.
会話しすぎると。
If you see someone who's just like you, you either hate them or... That's the wrong voice. If you see someone who's just like you, you either hate them or take an interest in them, I bet. And Yuki Amame was the latter.
嫌われた方がずっと
It'd
楽
be
だ
much easier if she hated me.
いっそ事実を打ち明け
Could just tell her.
わけにも
Or maybe not. Right now, only a few people knew that Suzuha was a time traveler. Me, Daru, Mayuri, and Faris. What the fuck did we trust Faris with this knowledge? That was all.
つうかこのまま何も説明
Do we have to explain anything at all?
Huh?
天音氏はなんつうか
Amameshi isn't really the type to pry.
ような人じゃないと
You
思うん
should
だよ
know that, right, Suzuha?
すず
確かに未来の母さんは
You're right.
そんな人
It
じゃな
wasn't
か
like
った
that in the future.
じゃあ大丈夫だ
Then what's the problem?
いずれ時が
When the
来たら
time comes, I'll explain it to
ちゃん
her.
と説明しとくよ
本当
Really?
あ
Yeah.
分かった父さんに任
Fine.
せる
I'll leave it to you.
Suzuha nodded.
で今後は天音
So
氏
from
を
now on, can you
露
stop
骨に
trying to
叫ん
avoid
で
Amameshi?
つうこと
うまくやれるかどうか
I don't know if I can do that without screwing up.
大丈夫
It'll
だ
be fine.
お前が言うなって話
I don't know if you're one to talk, though.
うん
Hmm?
さっきだって
Look at how
相変わ
awkward
ら
you
ず
were
苦
with
手
her.
意識出しまくっ
僕のことは言う
I'm not the problem here.
うん
And then the conversation came to a halt, which means we were starting to think about the voices coming from the shower room.
つうわけで
And so... Daru opened his mouth. Perhaps he couldn't take it anymore.
ニコ生見てもいいか
Can
な
I go watch Nico live streaming?
生特番があるんだ
There's a Bloodtoon stream right now.
不許可って言っても主張す
You're
る
gonna
んで
do it
し
even if I tell you no, right?
うん
Yup.
ょじゃあどうぞ
Then go ahead.
Suzuha sighed and Daru sat in front of the PC and put his headphones on.
何おじさん
What is it, Uncle?
いや
I was just thinking about how long you how well you get along with your dad.
そうかな
Really?
ああ
Yeah,
未来でもダル
Daru
は
wasn't like this
こ
in
ん
the
な感じ
future,
だった
was he?
ぞ
もっと痩せててかっこ
He
よ
was
かったけど
thinner
ね
and cooler.
想像も
I can't even imagine.
うん
And then the conversation died again. There was a ton of things I needed to talk to Suzuha about. But that was why I couldn't say a word. Maybe it was the same for her. Since there was nothing else to do, Suzuha and I turned back to the TV. The news was still on.
今日東京銀座で
The opening event for the French fashion brand Le Paradis was held in the Ginza this morning. As the newscaster spoke, I could see over 100 women lined up in front of a store.
平和だね
It's so peaceful, isn't it?
私が物心ついた
By
頃
the time I was old enough to remember
すでにこん
anything,
な光景
this
は
was all
存在しな
gone.
かった
On the TV, a girl in a pretty outfit was talking to an interviewer.
羨ましいな
I'm jealous.
彼女たちは
They
誰も
don't have
殺
to
さ
kill
なくていい
anyone.
し
Nobody's going to
誰に
kill
も
them.
殺されないんだね私が育った時代はさ
The world I grew up in,
相手が
you
男
had
だ
to
ろう
kill
と
without
女だろう
mercy,
と
no matter if they
容
were
赦
a
な
man
く
or
殺さ
a
なきゃいけな
woman.
かったんだ次の瞬間には自分の
Your
命
life
も
could
終わ
end
る
at
かも
any
しれない
moment. That terror was with you every second of every
寝て
day.
も覚めてもつきまとってた恐怖を忘れるためには
The only way to forget the terror was to give yourself over to the madness and
自
become
分
one
が
of the
殺す側
killers.
に回るしかなかったよ
That was war. That was Suzuha's life. I've been to many nightmarish world lines, but none of them that bad.
父さんたちは
My dad's work on the time machine got him branded as a
反
rebel.
政府組織とみなされてね
Daru made the time machine that brought Suzuha here. It was far more powerful than the ones that existed on the Alpha World line.
私も軍から離脱して
I left the military to join him and his group, and the police and peacekeeping squads came after me.
それからは
The battles after
もっ
that
と
were
もっとひどい
worse,
戦闘が
and
何
there
度
were a
もあっ
lot
た
of
よ
them.
正義のための戦い
I didn't want to use the
Nothing.
phrase fighting the good
綺麗
fight.
な言葉は使いたくないたくさん殺したし
I killed a lot of people,
友
lost
達や
many of my
仲間も
friends
大勢
and
殺された
comrades.
その中には
One of them was my mother.
私の母さんもいた
Jaro was still staring at the computer screen, but I could see him twitch. He must have been listening to Zua while he pretended to look at the screen.
軍の無人機から私を
He
守ろ
tried
う
to
として
protect me from one of the army drones,
機銃操
and she
作
was
で
gunned
死んだ
down.
This was the first time I'd heard how Yuki Amane died. She was in the next room right now, having fun in the shower. And that was how she was going to die?
この目で
I saw her
ズ
ripped
タズタ
apart
にさ
with
れてい
my
く
own
母
eyes.
さんを見た
Her warm blood splattered all over me.
母さんの生温かい血を浴びた
Maybe the reason Suzuha didn't want to talk to her mother in 2010 was that she didn't want her asking about the future. There was no way Suzuha could tell her that.
ね
Listen,
えオカリンおじさん
Uncle Ocarin.
At some point, Suzuha's eyes began to overflow with tears.
この世界線の行き着く先は
This world can only go to
地
one
獄しか
place.
ないんだ
Hell.
今すぐじゃなくてい
Doesn't
い
have to be right now.
時間切れには
There's still a little time, I
まだ
think.
少しだけ時間があると思うだから
So, just
もう一度だけ
think about it again. Please.
お願いだよ
Please.
俺は
I knew it. In my mind, I knew it. The right thing to do was to do as she asked. But
死にたく
I don't
ないよ
want to die. The sensation I felt when the knife slipped into her flesh and took the life of the girl I loved. It went from my hand to my arm, and then to the rest of my body, and I started shaking. My vision blurred, and then almost went black. My hands went to my mouth. There was a wave of pain, like my stomach was turning inside out.
おじさ
Uncle?
大丈夫かオカリン
You okay, Ocarin? Yeah. Sorry. Suzuha poured me a cup of water and I gulped it down.
んごめんこんなこと
Sorry.
まだ話すんじゃなかった
It was too early to talk about this.
いや
No, it's
大した
nothing.
ことない大丈夫だ
I'm fine. I sank into the sofa and tried to calm down.
鈴葉の言いたいことも
I know what you want to say,
よくわ
and I
か
know
る
how you feel.
けど
I've got through so many
俺は
world
何度
lines.
もこことは違う世界
I've
線
seen
で
people in other world lines have
タ
their
イムマ
fates
シンに
toyed
運命
with
を
by the
翻
time
弄される
machine.
人たちを見てきた
I looked straight into Suzuha's eyes.
お前の非業の結末さえ
I've seen your own tragic
見
end,
てきた俺自身もそれに巻き込まれ
and
て
I realized that I'm powerless to do anything.
何もかも無力だってことを知った
Humanity was powerless before the laws of the world.
タイムマシンを使って世界
Using
線を
the time machine to change the world lines means breaking the rules of the
この宇宙の
universe.
仕組みから俺たち人間が手を出し
It's
て
not
逃げ
the
るわけじゃない
province of humanity.
いわば
You could say it's the province of God.
それに触れれば
If we try, we'll suffer an even more horrible punishment.
残酷な罰を受けることになる俺は
At least that's what I think.
それが
Is
オ
that
カ
your
リンおじ
answer,
さん
Uncle
の答え
Ocarin?
なの
少なくとも
For now,
Imamara.
if nothing else.
そう
I see.
ただの逃げだとなじってくれて
Feel
もい
free
い
to tell me I'm just running away.
うん
No,
そんなことしないよ
I won't do that.
Zua looked up at the ceiling and sighed. That must have been a habit she's picked up lately.
続いてのニュースです
And now our next top story.
厚生労働省は
The Ministry of Health announced there have been no reported cases of Japan of the new form of
日本国内での発症例は
Emka
報
what now?
告されていないと発表しました。
Encephalitis? Encephalitis. I'm gonna pronounce it that way and hope it's right. The Ministry of Health announced there have been no reported cases in Japan of the new form of encephalitis that is ravaging America.
ただ、この新型の
This new virus has a long incubation period, and they cannot deny the possibility that it has already arrived in Japan. I didn't want this to get topical, but apparently shit got topical.
感染症法に基づき
The ministry has ordered all medical organizations in the country to draw up a treatment plan to investigate the virus's spread. We're here with Soko Harayama at Ochinomizu Medical University. So, Miss Harayama, what sort of symptoms does this new encephalitis cause?
The new virus does not spread easily. It has a long incubation period and appears without warning. The main symptoms are hallucinations and memory problems.
Of course it fucking is. No one's gonna believe me about time travel!
For example, you think you were at work and suddenly you find yourself at home, or you have memories of meeting someone you've never met. There have been reports of that.
Oh, god damn it. This is exactly what I have, but it's just fucking convenient.
Also, memories can be confused. You might have memories of events that never occurred. You lose the ability to tell the difference between dreams and reality. Perhaps your sense of the passage of time. In some cases, your memories will no longer match those of the people around you. You could describe it as similar to deja vu, or even the feeling when you're only half awake, but the symptoms are far more pronounced than that.
What about treatment methods?
Unlike other forms of encephalitis, we only know that with proper treatment, a full recovery is possible. So even if we do see some cases in Japan, it's not a matter for serious concern.
The reporter was still talking, but I couldn't hear what she was saying. The information I just heard was that shocking. A new kind of encephalitis? I knew the symptoms she was describing. Losing the ability to discriminate between dreams and reality. Losing your sense of the passage of time. Your memories no longer match those of the people around you. That was exactly the same as reading Steiner. So, is that what's up with Fubuki then, or? Oh, hello, 1975. How are you doing? I'd almost forgotten about Kaguri. So, if Kaguri's left in 1975, who could she be? I'll think about it more. The interior of the time machine smelled like metal and was covered in instruments of different sizes. The girl inside was sobbing. It had been almost an hour since Suzuha had left to go look around. She'd assumed that Kaguri would have stopped crying by then, but she'd have no such luck.
How long are you gonna keep crying? You need to get it together. Think about how big sis Mayu felt.
Kaguri Shino looked up at Suzuha, her face wet with tears. Mommy?
Don't cry. It's annoying.
But... Suzuha walked over to Kaguri and knelt down so they'd be at eye level. She had no intention of spoiling her. Her goal was to save billions of lives, and this was her first mission.
Listen, from now on I'm treating you as a member of Valkyrie. You work with me, and you're not a civilian. This is the year 1975. Nobody we know is alive here. Dad and Big Sis Mayu haven't even been born yet. In other words, there's no one to protect us. The only one who can protect you is yourself. You got it? Yeah.
Kagari was a brave girl, and she finally realized that now wasn't the time for tears. She tried to stop crying. It wasn't working well, but it was a lot better for her emotions than sobbing. She was a smart girl. Suzuha knew that.
There's not a lot of time. If someone from this era finds the time machine, it'll cause a big commotion.
The machine had landed on the roof of the radio building, which wasn't a spot that people visited often. The chances of anyone finding it were slim. But in this era, they had no choice but they had no one to help them conceal it. That meant they couldn't stay long. She needed to finish her mission quickly and move to the next time period.
If something goes wrong, can't we just use the time machine to come back? There's not enough fuel. Can't jump an infinite number of times. If it won't work when it really counts, then this is all for nothing.
What fuel does this run on? Just out of curiosity. Like, do you charge it with fucking black matter or something? Not black matter, dark matter. That's the one I'm thinking of.
I see. Can you stand up?
Suzuha stepped out of the time machine and beckoned to Kagari. Like, in what timeline is this not some relation to fucking... I've forgotten her name. How have I forgotten her name? Kurisu. How could I forget Kurisu's name? I literally have like 2 anime figures of her on my shelf. In my defense, I only bought one. The second one was a gift. Kagari looked surprised. Her eyes were narrowed at the bright sunlight. The sky above Tokyo in this time period was too dirty to be called blue. Smoke and dust clouds, filled with who knows what, were rising from the rows and smokestacks. It all combined with black exhaust from the cars that scurried along the ground to create a smog so thick you could literally see it. The sky above the city was covered by a veil of death. No, that's just too real. But still, it was the first clear sky that Kagari had ever seen. She'd only ever known from books and videos that the sky could be this bright. The nuclear weapons during the Third World War had changed the weather over Tokyo, and their sky was constantly dull and covered in dull grey clouds. The sun's light was always weak when it shone through at them, and it was never this bright.
When I was a kid, the sky was still like this. I don't remember much, but I remember a little.
Suzuha looked up at the sky too.
It's so clean.
In 2036, you needed a filter and a mask to go outside for any length of time. Compared to that, 1975 was a lot cleaner. Fucking hell, that says a lot, given the amount of shit that we put into the atmosphere and nearly destroyed its ozone layer.
Now you understand why everyone was killing to risk it all to change the world line, right, Kagari? The world lines? History? You can worry about that stuff later. For now, just focus on protecting the sky.
Kagari slipped her hand into her pocket and took out the faded green Upa keychain. She stared at it with a sad look on her face. She was probably thinking about Mayuri, her mother. And she was probably trying to understand what it meant that her mother had put her inside the time machine. Suzuha decided that Kagari was alright now and closed the hatch on the time machine from the outside. The lock flipped on automatically. The only person who could see it now was Suzuha, who could open it. The only person who could open it now was Suzuha, whose biometrics had been loaded into the system ahead of time. Even if someone did find the time machine, it would be a while before they found out what it was.
Kagari, これを見ろ。
Kagari, look at this.
Suzuha handed her a printout of a photo. It's the goddamn IBM 5100.
これ何？
What is this?
IBM 5100
A retro PC called the IBM 5100.
私たちの時代に存在していたも
None
の
of the
は
ones in our
ど
timeline
れ
still
も満足
worked.
に動かない。
But here we should be able to find a working one.
このこれを手分けして探
First
すのが
mission is to split it up and find it. Yeah,
連絡はこれで。
we can communicate with this.
She handed Kagari a small transceiver.
通信できる距離はか
I
なり
was
短
told
い
it
らしい
doesn't
か
have a
ら
very long
気休め
range,
程度
so
だと思え。
don't expect too much of it.
大きいと
Okie
き
dokie.
90分ごとにこのビルの
We'll
前
meet
に
up in
集
front of the
合。
building every 90 minutes for a status report.
それを繰り返す。いいな。大きいと
Okie dokie.
いい返事だ。
Good answer.
Suzuha nodded and patted Kagari on the head.
よし。ミッション
Okay,
開始。
let's get started.